So we had a jobs report released today, and it was pretty bad. It's flashing more red signals when it comes to the economy. Now, this is not the official jobs report that comes from the BLS, the Bureau of Labor Statistics. This comes from ADP, which is basically a massive payroll software and processing company. So they basically have a ton of data when it comes to adding and subtracting of jobs in the private sector. That's the other thing. This has nothing to do with the government shutdown. These are private sector jobs. Now, the number was negative 32,000 jobs added. Now, analyst expectations, the general consensus was plus 45,000. So this is a massive swing. Not only that, there was a massive revision for the previous month. Okay, initially ADP had reported 54,000 jobs added. That was changed to negative 3,000. So those are both major red flags. It shows that the economy is, again, not as strong as once perceived, and it does mean that the Federal Reserve is absolutely going to cut interest rates again at their meeting, at their next meeting, and probably at both the remaining meetings for this year. Now, I don't want to drag this video out too long. I just wanted to provide you guys with an update. Another couple things I want to touch on real quick is the government shutdown. Just because there is some talk, does this relate to the Federal Reserve? Does this affect the economy? And the general, I guess the general consensus when it comes to the data, it doesn't really affect the stock market. It doesn't really affect the economy too much because furloughed employees are going to be back paid, right? So when the government finally reopens, all the 700,000 plus furloughed jobs that were people that were furloughed, they're going to get back paid. Now, these are individual events. This ADP number has nothing to do with this government shutdown. It is private sector jobs. So those are real job losses. They're not furloughed. They're not because of the government shutdown. Those are real job losses. So the Federal Reserve is absolutely going to cut interest rates. One more thing I want to talk about is because the government is shut down, the BLS has suspended work. So remember, the BLS does major reports that are used, like the jobs report. These are used by the Federal Reserve. So right now, ADP is providing data because it's a private company, but the actual jobs numbers comes from the BLS, and right now they're not. It's shut down because it's part of the government. They're not being funded. They're not doing any sort of reporting. So we won't get those official numbers until the government reopens. So we'll have to wait and see what those numbers say. They're probably also not going to be that great. But all in all, again, I don't want to drag this video out too long. I just wanted to provide you with a quick update in regards to this private sector number coming from a private company. So a lot of people don't trust the government jobs numbers anymore because, one, it's been politicized. Two, there's always massive revisions. But you can see even ADP, they revise their numbers too, because when you're tracking 300 million plus people across the country, it's difficult to always get the data exactly right the first time. But with that said, the general consensus right now is the economy is not as good and the jobs market is not as good as previously thought. The Fed's going to cut interest rates. We'll have to see if this turns into an actual recession or a technical recession with 2 quarters of negative GDP growth. That's a very real possibility as well. Again, I don't want to drag this video out too long. I could talk. There's so many things to cover. I'll do this in a separate video for the housing update, but I'm starting to see signs when it comes to real estate and the housing market. There's definitely weakening signs there. There's more auctions for listing, more pre-foreclosures, and more foreclosures. And that, when you put all that together, again, means the economy is definitely weakening. I didn't say this at the beginning of the video. My name is Derek. I got my degree in finance. You don't have to. If you like personal finance, world economics investing, you're in the right place. So I hope to see you in the next video. If this video was informative and to the point, please consider subscribing. It's hard to grow here on YouTube. With that said, I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.